can do that. We'll take a little short break.
We talked about this before we even got there. That's how this works.
Go back here.
All right, we'll move on now to agenda item 6B, and this is our second public hearing item. This is REZ 2024-19. This is for U-Haul, located on Inner Perimeter. The address is 3871 Inner Perimeter Road. This involves 5 acres. It is currently R-10, and the request is for CG, and it will be served by city utilities. Mr. Dillon.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Again, you see the parcels here in question, 3 parcels totaling just slightly over 5 acres, requesting CG zoning, which is along Inner Perimeter. You notice the future land use plan here depicts it as a neighborhood activity center character area, which does recommend CG as appropriate, and being within the urban service area, the utilities there are available from the city. You'll also notice that there are no wetlands on the property, making it potentially viable for future development. This is a recent aerial of the property, and what you'll see here is a proposed layout by the applicants for 2 buildings, more or less. A 3-story building on the left there, approximately 95,000 square feet, or 117 is shown, and then a 1-story building up front. You'll also notice along Inner Perimeter the parking spaces being 36 feet deep. This is for their truck rentals, if approved. Again, this is a street view from it. You'll notice that light pole there is approximately 35 feet tall, and this is rendering provided by the applicant. One of their layouts that they have there. Again, here's another potential layout depending on the location. They do have various architectural features that they can fit to better match the area. Again, this is just a size reference. You'll notice this property off Bemis or Baytree Road in Rimerton, the 50-foot height there, prime storage. This is the closest thing we have relative in Valdosta to this approximate size being proposed. And again, here's some drone footage that was flown from the neighborhood to the north. It was flown at approximately 70 feet, so you see some of the trees do top it there. There's the approximate 35-foot height line. You'll notice TRC did recommend approval of this with several conditions. That 1, any structure over 35 feet in height shall be void of windows and or reflective surfaces along its northern elevations. 2, all lighting shall be directed on-site and away from residentially zoned properties. And 3, there shall be no reduction in the minimum buffer area requirements of section 40706. There are supplemental standards for self-storage facilities that are applicable here. The applicant is also applying for a variance, which will be heard in January, to some of those standards, primarily the height. Those supplemental standards limit to 35. The proposed height is 45 feet, which is allowed in CG zoning, but not in the supplemental standards. So that is a factor for the Board of Appeals to hear in January. But again, staff recommended approval with the conditions. The Planning Commission also heard this request and recommended the same unanimously, and no one spoke in opposition at that meeting.
Any questions for Mr. Dillon? Okay, we'll move into the public hearing portion of the meeting. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak in opposition to this request? Anyone that would like to speak in opposition? Hearing none, is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of this request? Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Roger Bishop. I'm Market Company President for Southern Georgia. This is my area. This will be the area that I'll oversee during the process of its entirety. Once the build out is completed, this will be ran by our higher locals team locally. We look forward to working with the city, with Valdosta and the Lowndes County. We partner well with a lot of cities. We bring a lot of revenue. We're just here to what our main focus is to be a service to people that need service in the area. You know, we've done so well in creating sustainability throughout the nation that this is something that we are very comfortable in appeasing the requirements to move forward. So if you have any questions, I'm glad to answer them. If not, we just ask for your approval and carry forward for zoning.
Any questions for the speaker? All right, thanks, sir. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to speak in favor of this request? Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Commissioner. Commissioners. My name is Scott Alderman. First Commercial Real Estate, I'm the broker in the proposed sale of the property for U-Haul. My address is 5273 Bethany Drive, Ahar, Georgia. I represent the sellers, Ms. Diane White and Ms. Edna Lewis, and they are the co-administrators of the estate that owns the property. And this is their statement that they asked me to read. Dear Commissioners, our family has owned this land for generations. This is the last piece that we own as the property of Ed White, or as the heirs of Ed White, our great-grandfather and great-uncle. Inner Perimeter, as you know, is a major 4-lane highway the county put in years ago to help traffic get around the city and to encourage new business and commercial development. There's already a bunch of commercial places out on that road, like Monster Storage next door, Family Dollar, a daycare, Ace Electric, 3 or 4 office warehouse buildings, convenience stores, gas stations, schools, and churches. The U-Haul company has picked this site to build a big new moving and storage place for the folks about us in Lowndes County. They need to rezone it commercially, just like Monster Storage did a few years ago with the property they bought from us next door. We fully support this use. We'll appreciate your approval to rezone it. We thank you for your consideration and your service.
Any questions? Thank you, sir. All right, we didn't have anybody that was in opposition, so we won't ask for rebuttal. So I will close the public hearing portion of the meeting, and I'll turn it back over to the commission now for your consideration.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve, I guess, with the recommended conditions.
Okay, we have a motion to approve with the conditions. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign.